Hey everyone, it's Adrian. Welcome back to ALTERKNIT. Hey everyone, it's Adrian. Welcome back to ALTERKNIT. I was going to do this whole like repeating introduction thing until I got to Boston, but I was on that last flight for like, what, 12 hours, months, weeks, I don't know. I feel like shit, so I'm not going to do it. I don't know where the hell I am. What am I doing? Here's me, LAX, thinking I know what the I'm doing. I need to go and find my luggage and check in. I'll talk to you later. This wasn't very enjoyable, I have to say. Hi Boston, I'm in you. That's you. Look at the state of me, honestly. Red-faced, hair looking like whatever that is, sweating like a pig. I probably smell like a backpacker. My SIM card for my phone wanted a PIN number that we had never previously heretofore discussed needing, so I couldn't use my phone, just the occasional airport Wi-Fi. And then that made navigating the T network difficult, especially since no one knew the name of my like Boston famous hotel that I'm staying at. No one has ever heard of it before. But I eventually figured out how to get here. But then when I got to Boston Common, which was beautiful, and I could only enjoy for a mere couple of seconds because my luggage handle had broken. So rather than being able to wheel my suitcase up and down town, I had to carry it and my carry-on bag. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go and pass out now, okay? So thanks. Hello, we are, oh wait, where are we? Is this still Springfield?
No, this is Northampton.
We're in Northampton, Massachusetts, and we're about to go to, as Chad says here in the back, the largest yarn store in the world.
It's huge. We're down.
I hope you bought your credit cards. What are we looking at here? Stuff. Bougie food.
Awesome salads.
Yeah, we can move right along. Ooh, braised beef roast. So I've come to Boston at a great time because we've got the nor'easter going here, and the building across from the Omni Parker, which is the King's Chapel, the windows are falling out of this building and threatening to be very heavy. It's a little windy outside. For a dull moment. These are the windows
You're gonna slip.
That's,
Right up on your ass.
that's probably true. Look at you, you look like a Russian grandmother.
I made you some borscht.
Hey everyone, it's Adrian. Welcome back to Australia and welcome back to ALTERKNIT. It's been a week since I got back from Boston, Massachusetts, and I had an amazing time. Initially, the reason I went over there was for work. I had a conference that I had to attend for a few days, but if you remember from a couple of videos ago, I asked if anybody was in the Boston area and if they wanted to meet up. A couple of people did send me some messages and I met up with them, and I'm so glad that I did. I got the opportunity to meet some of you guys, but also the people I met were just absolutely wonderful people who made my time in Boston just incredible, and it was not the kind of visit that I could have managed on my own as a tourist. So I'm really, really thankful to Kelly, her sister Beth, and of course Chad, who made my stay really, really fun. And I only had 3 days in Boston before the conference started. But man, we fit a lot into those 3 days. I kind of was torn between wanting to vlog and wanting to just experience what was going on at the time rather than just stop every 10 seconds to make a video. I wanted to vlog a lot more, but I didn't, and we got a lot of stuff done in the 3 days. I headed to the largest yarn store in the world, and apparently what we saw was one of only a few big warehouses of yarn. I'd never seen that much yarn in my entire life, and it was amazing. And I'm surprised that I didn't spend more than I did, but I think I will be getting my new local friend contacts to buy some more stuff for me from Webb's, which is the largest yarn store in the world. It was pretty incredible. I also experienced way too much good food, good coffee, good donuts. I don't know, the camera adds 10 pounds. What do you think? Do the donuts add more? I don't know. I weighed myself after I got back and I was a little bit surprised to see how little I'd put on. But I did do a lot of walking around town, so that probably offset that a little bit. We also managed to get a trip out to Salem, and when I got back to Australia and I spoke to friends and I said, oh yeah, I visited Salem, and they said to me, oh, did you go to some of the witch museums? No, we didn't. I didn't really see anything all that witchy apart from this wonderful statue of Elizabeth Montgomery, who of course played Samantha in Bewitched, and this doesn't look anything like Elizabeth Montgomery. I just thought it was really strange that something so terrible that happened such a long time ago in Salem is commemorated with this light, breezy 50s housewife Samantha. It was a little funny to me, so I had to get a photo with her. In those few days that I had before the conference, I did manage to get along to a knit night at a yarn store in Cambridge called Gather Here. Now, you'll see this yarn store if you haven't already. I'm not sure where it is in this video. It's an incredible yarn store with a great workspace at the back of the shop, and I got to have a knit night there. And I met a whole bunch of really wonderful local people who were just crafting away and having a drink, and it was really relaxed and a nice atmosphere. Definitely not something that I've got back home, so I was really happy to experience that and meet some other like-minded people and see what people have been working on. There was supposed to be another knit night that I was going to, but unfortunately that big storm had sort of flooded everything out and the knit night was cancelled. And from then on, with my conference being so busy right up until when I left, I didn't really get a chance to go to any more, but that's okay. I sort of think there'll be more times in the future where that can happen. One of the most interesting parts of the trip for me was to finally, for the first time in my life, see snow. And I know to some of you that might sound ridiculous because snow has just been a big part of your life. But we did get enough snow for me to throw some snowballs and to clean off the snow from a car and see the plow drivers coming through. It was all very, very exciting for me. But when I left, that's when Boston got hammered with feet of snow rather than just a few inches, which I guess is a good thing because if there had been feet of snow, I might never have gotten out. I almost didn't get back home. I don't really feel like talking about that. Suffice it to say that the trip home was completely horrible, but still didn't manage to overshadow what a great time I had in Boston. Now, I know you're all dying to see what I did buy, and I'll try to remember where I bought things from to show you. I didn't buy as much as I thought I was going to, and that's okay. I'm all right with that. Because half of the things that I purchased, I don't have any projects in mind for them. They're all gonna have to be small things because I didn't want to buy large quantities of yarn to try and get back through security and customs and whatnot. It's interesting, however, when I was leaving Australia, they did pull me up for my bag as it went through the X-ray machine, and they made me take my needles out because they just looked a little bit suspicious to them. I have travelled from Australia before with my knitting, but it seems to be different every time. However, when I got to LA and the TSA lady there, I'd pulled my knitting out preemptively just to make sure that, you know, it didn't delay me at all. And she had a little chat with me about how good she thought my knitting was, which was really sweet. All right, I will start off with what I bought at Webb's because I can remember that I bought it from Webb's. Now, for those of you playing in Australia, you may have seen Webbs.com, but it's also known as yarn.com. And it sells everything online, but they also have a shop that sells practically everything. So I'll put this over here. I'm not sure that that's in shot. So the first thing that I want to show you is some Let Lopi. Now, a lot of people have used this, and I've seen a lot of people on Instagram using this, and I've always wanted to try it. So this is an Icelandic wool. It is a single ply or sort of like a pencil roving yarn. It's quite a scratchy yarn, so this is most definitely for outerwear only. It's traditionally used for the Lopi sweaters. Those are the sort of knit in the round, top down, color work, yoked sweaters. This is incredibly warm wool is what I'm told. And you can see here, maybe you can't see here, but I can see there are a lot of guard hairs that are actually woven in or spun into this, and it's got quite a strong fuzz and halo. It's not a sort of delicate one. For those of you who don't know, guard hairs are not wool fiber, they're actually hair, and this makes up one of the layers of a sheep's coat that helps it to be more durable, more water resistant, I believe. But it's when you say rustic, that's what this stuff is. This is no finely spun, soft, drapey fabric that you're going to get from this. This is rustic stuff. And I just really loved it and have wanted to try it. And I have wanted to knit larger garments out of it, but people have warned about how scratchy it is. So I bought these two to make, I think, mittens from, colorwork mittens. That's close to the skin, and I think that would be a good way to gauge it. I don't know. But that's the first thing I bought. You know what was really interesting to me was having spent years looking at yarns online, things that I can't get in Australia or can't get very easily. And then they might sell them in yarn stores in Melbourne or Sydney or something like that, but the price would just be really, really high to get them sent over to me. And I'm talking about premium yarns that are already kind of expensive on their own, and it just hasn't seemed worth it. So to me, these have been like celebrity yarns almost. You know, they're the kinds of things that you see and follow on Instagram and you look up obsessively, but you've never seen them in real life. And I finally got to see a lot of the things that I've loved in real life, and I found that really interesting. And so I bought some Madeleine Tosh, and I got these two skeins. They are the same product, but they just have different labels on them. This is Whiskey Barrel colorway, and it's incredible. There's browns, blues, indigos, coppery tones. It's a beautiful range of color within this single product. This is also like a pencil roving, similar to the Let Lopi. It has a little bit of a thick and thin quality to it just by the look of it here, but it is much softer and has a sort of more delicate halo of fuzz around the fiber. So this is Madeleine Tosh. I think it's Tosh Merino Light. Yes, it is. So this is a 100% superwash merino. I have heard that the colors leach out of this quite a lot when you're blocking. So if you're using the darker colors with the lighter colors, there might be some problems. I spoke to some people who had issues with that. Have you had the same issues? I would like to know. Not that it's going to matter for this project because I'm purely going to use the same colorway throughout, but I'd like to know, especially since this was 24 US a skein, but it is 100, no, I think it's 100 grams. Wait, that's right, this is the US of A, I don't get grams. This is 420 yards of yarn, so it's a decent amount, but $24, it's up there. All right, the last thing that I bought from Webs, trying not to burn myself on my wonderful candle here. I bought some Knitter's Pride Zings. Now, I have not seen these before in Australia. I have seen these on the Knitter's Pride website. They were so cheap. I have this size 2 6-inch DPNs here for $4.99. That's so cheap. And also these here, the size 6s on the 8-inch DPNs, and they were $5.19. Now these are metal double-pointed needles. The reason I bought these is because on the plane over, when I had only a very brief amount of time to do some knitting, I did split the tip of one of my bamboo double-pointed needles, and I kept going with it, but it caused a splinter that made my finger bleed, and eventually I just had to ditch that double-pointed needle, just snap it and throw it away, because it was going to be no good to me. I know I probably could have sanded it back and reconditioned it, but really it was cheap bamboo. Actually, I say cheap, and yet it's more expensive than these. So the Australian, buying the bamboo needles in Australia cost more than buying these Zings in the US. So Kelly, if you're watching, I'm going to place an order for a lot more different sizes of these for the next time you go to Webs. All right, moving on to yarn that I bought at Circle of Stitches in Salem. This was a gorgeous little store, and I really liked some of the witchier kind of elements that they had, pins and buttons, and even, I don't think they had any spell books, but I think they had tarot card packets and all of that kind of thing, which was, you know, it was a really cute addition and not something that you typically see in a yarn store. I ummed and ahed over what to buy here, but I finally decided on 2 skeins of Blue Sky Alpaca. Now, if you have not felt this stuff, oh my gosh, you should feel this. You know I'm not a big fan of people saying, oh, squishy, on a podcast, but this is the definition of squishy. There is something very hefty and solid about this yarn, but it is incredibly soft. And you can tell that the definition of the stitches is going to be incredible. And it has a nice little halo. So this is the colorway Buttercream, which is kind of like a natural color. This is 55% baby alpaca and 45% fine merino. So fine being, of course, small microns, so really thin fibers, which makes it nice and soft. And drapey, you can see already that this yarn just has a lovely drape. This is the colorway Java, which it's picking up some of the buttercream fuzz or fallout, but this is just a sort of, I don't know, it's like a khaki brown. It's brown, but it has like elements of green in it, although it is a uniform color. So I would like to knit a color work project with these two. I think this would be really beautiful. I am thinking maybe beanie with a pom-pom. I've never done a pom-pom before. I don't know whether I'm going to do mittens with this, but whatever I knit, Kelly, I'm going to send it to you as a thank you. That was everything I bought from Circle of Stitches, and it took me ages, as I said, to choose that. I'm a terrible decision maker, and I felt like I was pushing the boundaries of friendship with how long it took me to choose that yarn. But I'm really happy with that decision. It's probably one of my favorite purchases from the trip. And I have one more bag of goodies. Where did I get this from? I can't remember the name. I bought this from Black Sheep Knitting Co. and this was in Needham, or Needham, I don't know, Needham. So the first thing I want to show you is this Vivacious 4-ply from Fiber Spates Luxury Yarns. Ooh. You know, I'm on a bit of a grey kick, and that's what this is. It's this lovely, lovely tonal grey. It's got, I've got so many different light sources in here, it's really difficult for me to see. It is tonal. There are some warm greys and some cool greys within that, which gives it a lot of dimension, and I love that. One thing that I found is that with the Blue Sky Alpaca and this one, the Fiber Spates, and with the last one that I'll show you, it has like I don't know how to describe it. The yarn has a lot more of a sculptural twist to it, more so than anything I've seen in Australia. And I was really drawn to that. You know, it's the yarn strand itself has this sort of like pearly bump to it. I really love that. I think it just looks nice in the skein, and I think it helps with stitch definition as well. 100 grams it says on there, which is great. So a lot of these skeins, actually I think everything I got was 100 grams, except the Let Lopi, which is 50. And finally, I did buy some more Madeline Tosh. Now, I mean, how do you go past this color? I don't really think you can. So this is Tosh Sock in Glazed Pecan. This is also 100% merino. It's a fingering weight, and it is 395 yards for a total of $27. This is just it's a really rich, the rich golden, coppery golden color. I don't know, me and colors, I don't know. Just look at it, it's beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful. I keep holding it so close to my face, but I think I've actually got a fairly wide frame here. I don't know. Beautiful colorway. And I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but I think I would like to do something colorworky with the two of these. I think they would work really well together. So basically I've got yarn here for 4 different relatively small projects, 3 of which appear to be color work. Even though I'm on a bit of a cable kick at the moment, I know that I've got an upcoming video at some point in the future about Fair Island color work. And I'd really like to be able to show you me knitting some of that and little tips and tricks that I have, although I'm not a color worker per se. That reminds me actually of an interesting conversation we had. I don't know the name of the store, and I probably shouldn't let you know the name of the store, because there was an older gentleman that one of my friends referred to as the Knit Nazi. He's a very interesting man with a lot of very sort of direct opinions about certain things in knitting. And he says that continental and English knitting for colour work is a big no-no because of tension issues. But that's what I do whenever I knit colour work. I always hold one colour in my left hand, knitting continental, and the other colour in my right hand. I don't believe I've done anything very recently. No, I haven't done anything in the last year or so that's more than 2 colours. So, but we'll see. We will see if what he says is correct or not. His work was hung up around the walls of his shop. And look, I mean, the man he's a master knitter. There's no denying it. But we'll see. Time will tell. Okay, everyone, that's it for today. I know it wasn't a super long video, me talking, but hopefully you got enough of a sense of what it was like for me over in Massachusetts, and Boston, Northampton, Salem. It was incredible. When I come back, I will most definitely let you know on video so that we can maybe increase the size of our group and have some adventures perhaps to Webb's and to other shops. I'm sure there might have been 1 or 2 yarn stores that I missed in Boston, but who knows, maybe we can hit them next time. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not subscribed, please click subscribe and click the notification bell so you get notified when I upload another video. And I will see you really soon. Thanks guys, bye.